I'm sitting here under the oldest olive tree in Nazareth Village, and with me is Ronnie, who's one of the guides here in Nazareth Village. And I know you know this orchard really well. So what do you tell people about the trees that are here when you bring them in?
Well, many of these trees actually were found in here. Some of them were burned. But the most that you can see in this olive grove were actually transplanted, like this big one. We're sitting in the shade of it.
Right.
This one we brought it from Cana of Galilee.
How old is this one?
When we got it to here to be transplanted in this grove, it was an age of 400, and it survived indeed.
Gosh, 400 years old, and you could still transplant it as well.
You can transplant it, but some of these trees we grafted into it, actually some branches.
Okay, how do you graft? What is
when
that
you come
process?
to a trunk of a tree like this, you find these kind of branches, or let me say in the word in the Hebrew, a netzer. A netzer, which is a branch.
Means branch.
And once we look at the prophecy of Isaiah 11, verse 1, what points about the prophecy about the Messiah, the branch itself can be grafted in to get you a new tree.
Okay. And how do you graft the branch in? What do you do to it?
Well, the netzer itself, we can pick it up from here.
Yes.
We can cut it up, and then when we get to another tree, we cut about 10 centimeters in the trunk itself above the ground, and then we put it in and wrap it. And then after a week or a couple of weeks, it'll be ready.
Wow! So you take a good branch that's not bearing fruit, you cut it into the roots of this old tree that has borne fruit, and in time it will bear fruit.
Yes, yes, yes.
Now I understand that Netzer, that your home village, your hometown here, Nazareth,
yes,
is
Nazareth
as a branch.
Nazareth, Nazareth.
Wow! So it's a branch, and it bore fruit.
Yes.
Wow. Speaking of fruit, how do you harvest the fruit, and when do you harvest the fruit?
Well, harvest time for the olives is October, November. The farmers comes up to the fields. They get thin, tall staffs, and they beat up these branches, and the olives fall on the ground.
Well, I noticed that you brought a basket.
Yeah, we got a basket in here.
So can we pick some olives, and
yeah.
Can you walk me through how that happens?
Yeah, sure, but we don't have a thin, tall staff right now to beat up these olives. We'll do it the other way, which is hand picking.
All right.
Hand picking is safer, Gary, because we don't hurt the tree. We make sure it stays safe for next year's season. It's a precious tree. You don't want to hurt it, definitely.
Okay.
It can survive more than 1,000 years, so it's important for your family, Gary, and even for generations after that.
Wow. So we're picking off of an inheritance here.
Absolutely.
All right. Can you show me now what we do with these? Where do we go
Well, we need
next?
to go from these olives to the olive press to get our oil.
Okay. Up that way?
Sure, let's go.
Okay. So we're indoors here. Now, why have we come inside? I mean, I usually see these out in the open.
Well, usually in the harvest time for the olives, everything and the process to get your oil is indoors, inside of a building.
So always the press is always inside?
All the way, because don't forget the harvest time for the olives is October, November in the fall, and you might get the rain.
Now, does this house have a name or?
It's called the Beit Bad in the Hebrew, house of the beam of the presser. Bad is the beam to press the baskets of the pulp to get the oil.
Oh, okay. So we have our olives. What's the next step?
Let's go through the first step first of all. We get the olives usually, and they fill them in this basin in here. And after that, this beam, which is attached to this crushing mill, they have a rope on the side. It can be attached to a yoke, and you put it on the neck of an animal. Or you have it for an animal. You pull from this side. You want to try it again?
I'd like to try, yeah.
Go ahead. It's very heavy. It'll be a good workout for you.
Okay.
Slowly, slowly. And so the first step is this crushing mill will be crushing the olives. As a matter of fact, actually crush everything. Yeah, if you can push more. It's getting heavier.
Listen to that. Listen to that.
Everything is smashed and crushed in the right way. Even the pits, Gary.
Wow.
The pits of the olives contains good percentage of oil. It should be crushed from first step in the right way with this heavy mill.
So it takes the olives and
it gets like a mash, an oily mash,
that.
oily pulp, as you can see in your hands. So after that, we get it in baskets, and we go to the second part, pressing.
Where the
on
beam?
The side, where the beam is.
Okay.
You want to check it out?
Yep.
Let's go and check it. Here we are, Gary,
Okay.
at the second step pressing. We can see the beam of the presser.
Oh, this is the beam, the name of the house.
This is the bud
Okay.
for the pressing. We can see the pile of the baskets over here.
These are the baskets that you put the
We got
mesh.
the mesh from
Okay.
there.
Okay.
Under the ground, there's a collecting vat, half meters. When they stack the baskets like this, no need for weight, the oil that drips is the best oil that went as an offering to the temple for anointing or for the use of the menorah.
So only the weight of the baskets itself presses out that
And
oil.
gets you the best and the most expensive oil.
Okay.
But after that, we add weight. As you can see, these weights. You got a winch and 2 hands to lift them up to put pressure. So
the weights being the rocks on the beam that hang down on the beam?
absolutely, that gives the pressure on the head over here to press. So in the second pressing, this oil that you get it, you use it for food, for medicine, is very healthy, by the way, and also for the process to make perfumes.
Okay.
Towards the third step, the third pressing, we add more weight to extract more oil. The oil loses the quality, Gary. And that's the oil that you use for oil lamps, for light, for the houses.
Okay.
But let me point one thing, it's very important.
What's that?
What's left in
the
these
back.
baskets
Yeah.
at the end, Gary,
You toss that? Or-
were not wasted. Nothing was wasted, Gary. Not back then, not even today. It's what's called actually gefet in the Hebrew, that burns. That's a source of fuel for cooking or even for the winter time for their houses.
A hot fire.
A hot fire.
Wow. So 3 presses and what's left is still used.
Absolutely, Gary.
All
Nothing
from
was
that
wasted.
little fruit.
Exactly.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Hard work. Hard work indeed.